I'd like to call this meeting of Harriman City Council, June 1st, 2021 to order. Before we get started, we'll have a word of prayer by Councilman Wright, followed by the pledge of the flag. Councilman Wright.
Would you join me, please? Our gracious Heavenly Father, as we gather here tonight to conduct the business of our community, and we ask that your Spirit will again be present with us to guide us in the thoughts and decision-making processes. Father, we thank you, as always, for the protection of our workers and their families. And Father, we thank you for the many blessings that you have bestowed on each of us. And we pray for continued blessings, and may we all look to you for your guidance in our lives. In Christ's name we ask. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call it, please.
Brian Cross. Buddy Holly.
Here.
Ken Johnson.
Here.
Kenny Me.
Here.
Sam Russell.
Here.
Lonnie Wright.
Here. I'd like to declare a quorum. Motion to approve the minutes of the May 18th, 2021 meeting. I'll make the motion. Motion by Councilman Johnson, second. Second by Councilman Holly. Councilman Johnson. Yes, sir. Councilman Holly. Floor is open for discussion. Call roll, please.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Ken Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. Motion to pay the salaries.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Russell, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Holly. Councilman Russell. Councilman Holly. Floor is open for discussion. Call roll, please.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Ken Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. Motion to pay the bills. I'll make a motion. Motion by Councilman Johnson, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Wright. Councilman Johnson? No, sir. Councilman Wright?
No.
Floor is open for discussion. Call roll, please.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Ken Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. This time we'll hear from delegation. If you'd like to address this council, please come to the podium, state your name, and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
I'm Bruce Knobloch, and I'm here today as the chair for the Historic Zoning Commission. We had a called meeting middle of last month in which we reviewed a certificate of appropriateness as well as looked at the status of some of our blighted structures. On that subject, we had a meeting back in September 2019 to identify about a dozen buildings that were considered in need of attention. Fortunately, we've had several of those that have been improved. We have some that are still work in progress, but we have others which are still a problem. Some of which, of course, you're familiar with as being here on Rome Street. You know, they tend to be the commercial structures, except for one that we have that was fire damaged several years ago and is still needing attention. What I'd like to do, in the absence of having an active code enforcement officer, is to ask the council if I have the permission to start working with the city attorney to start picking up where we left off on those particular properties with the the legal standpoint. This is something that Allison had addressed with the exception of one property which we'd like to have looked into further. But we as a commission don't have any authority to actually pursue any action at this point. So if it's possible, I'd like that permission. The other item that we discussed is we've been fortunate. We've had very good murals, very aesthetically pleasing murals installed in the downtown area. And we're concerned that we may get to the point where people want to put in a mural which may not be as aesthetically correct, if you will, in the historic aspect, but possibly even offensive to the national or to the general public. Rather than us addressing it as only part of the historic zoning design guidelines, we recommend that the city council consider adapting it into your zoning ordinances. we already refer to the sign ordinance as part of our design guidelines, and it has to satisfy that. And reviewing the design guidelines, I think you could really look at murals being painted on a wall as equivalent to flat signs on the side of structures. At least it gives you the opportunity to review them, but I think there may also need to be some type of guidelines as to what is acceptable, so we do not start having murals that are installed that are potentially offensive to the general public. And so those are the two items that came out of our meeting that I'd like to share with the council. Thank you.
On the first one, does council have a problem with Mr. Knobloch working with the city attorney on the blighted buildings to start finding out what we need to do? I don't see a problem with it as far as.
This process again, but we're moving every one of those cases forward now, Mr. Knobloch, I can tell you that. And you'll probably be hearing from Mr. Coker in the next 30 days. We set another meeting 30 days from now to see where we are on it, because he had some legwork to do for his office on some of these cases. There's several cases, there were things I needed to file. And so we've got a plan, and we're planning our work and working our plan right now.
So what we'll do is look at the ones that has already started and move forward with those. And then the other ones will get with the city manager and hopefully the coach person and start with those. But I think that the buildings that Mr. Knobloch's talking about, I think those are already in the process.
I do remember from this meeting today, Mr. Coker talking about one or two of those properties being in a historical neighborhood. So I suspect that's the same thing.
I also am saying that we need to work closer on what our restrictions are as businesses come in. As everybody can see on the corner down there is a complete mess of what has been left behind, I guess. Because the person was notified that they had to vacate that building, and now we see what's there, when that shouldn't have been there to start with. So we'll start working more on what it's on for when we come in. That was the first one. The second one was, remind me real quick.
The murals?
The murals. And that's something we can get with because we talked about looking at our ordinances and zoning and all that stuff. That is something that we could put in there with the sign ordinance if the council chose to do that. But we do need to be working on updating that stuff as we go on. So I'll get with you, Mr. Knobloch. We'll sit down and talk about it and see where we need to go. Anyone else like to address council?
I remind the council and the public that if you're calling in a power outage and your phone's not going through, sometimes we just get overwhelmed with calls and it takes up all the lines at once. Most likely during those events, we already know about the outage because it's affecting a whole lot of people at one time. And if you can't get through, then there's always opportunity to let us know through our Smart Hub app. But chances are it's been on just a few minutes. We probably will be issuing an RFP later this year. I just wanted to mention this. It might take you by surprise. I don't think I've mentioned it yet. But we're looking at potentially doing a solar project. So in the past, that wasn't allowed with our contract with TVA. The first time ever, we have a flexibility agreement that will allow us to produce some of our own power, which will allow us to save customers some money. So we'll probably be doing an RFP for that later this year. And I think the hardest thing about doing a project like that would be finding land. We probably need about 20 acres, relatively flat, good proximity to distribution, transmission, line, substation, probably. So that's going to be out there. We'll definitely be working with some consultants and look at different opportunities for that. But some hope to see that project go. There's also a lot of talk, well, there's a lot of talk in general about green energy. Everyone's talking solar, everyone's talking electric vehicles right now in our industry. So I just put a feeler out there, let the folks at TVA and the state of Tennessee, they've been partnering to try to get these electric vehicle chargers installed across the state. Their goal is to get them every 50 miles along major highways and interstates. So I'll let them know that if Harriman's a good spot, we'd really like to have one. There's a 20% cost share, I think that's fine. And even though a lot of our customer base doesn't use electric vehicles, these are really meant for people that are traveling between the cities. Like maybe they're traveling from Nashville to Gatlinburg, and they just want to make sure that they can make it to their destinations without losing power, losing steam with the car. So it's designed to eliminate what they call range anxiety and the use of electric vehicles in the valley. You may see a little bit about that. If I have any better updates, I'll bring them in the next couple months. Any questions?
Anybody have anything for Ms. Nancy? I thought on Harriman, we were supposed to call you. She didn't answer, I should say.
You can always.
I understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Record golf.
Well, I guess I'm glad to report that the splash pad opened last week, and we've been running for about a week. Everything went real smooth. We had a lot of cars, a lot of kids, a lot of people there. I went by on the way here a few minutes ago, and there's 17 cars down there, so a lot of kids there enjoying that. We've got everything's working on it fine. We got, except for we have some water cannons that wasn't doing exactly what they're supposed to. They're going to send us some brand new ones, come in and put those in here hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But everything else is doing fine. Got everything working good on that. The riprap project down at Riverfront Park is going good. It's on schedule. I talked to Josh today, and he said they should finish around 1st of July. He said the only problem they might have is just getting the roadway, the rock off the roadway, because they can't dig down in there. So that's something they're looking in on that. We should know more probably 1st of July on that. We're doing baseball tournaments. We've got our district tournaments for our All-Stars, and June the 19th, and we'll be hosting in July the 8U state tournament from July the 8th to the 10th, right? I'm sorry, 8th to the 11th that we're working on, and we're getting facilities down there going. Deputy Sparks should be here tomorrow finishing up a lot of work we had down there, putting new tops on the bleachers, redone the press box, so we were finishing up on a lot of projects we got going right there. We started our football sign-ups and cheerleader sign-up this week, getting calls on them, so getting all them going. So the cheerleader will be hosting the at Rome State this year, so we've got a lot of things going on with them. The Emory Golf, this year we're up 20% over the last 3 or 4 years. Done really well up there. We've got a lot of work that y'all let us use some of the money to paint the pro shop up there. A lot of other good we got going on. Put new carpet in. It's looking really good. I appreciate that. We're having on June the 19th, we're having it's the oldest, Emory Golf Course is the oldest nine-hole golf course in East Tennessee. It's the oldest in Tennessee, but it's the second oldest. So it'll be 97 years old, so we're having a tournament, kind of celebrating that and putting money back into there. Got a lot of people playing golf right now. Went up there Sunday at the church, there was like 5 families up there with, bringing their kids to play, so it's been a real big hit. A lot of people enjoying that also. Any questions?
Do I have anything for Mr. Jones? The only thing I got is every time I go by splash pad, you're down there at it in.
All right, well, make sure you're having fun.
Without short Library.
Their circulation of books are increasing and computers use is up. New books are down on the shelves, they've been held catalog. Of course, there's still some more ordering that's being done for new books. And I have completed all 3 grants. Now I'm working on the final reports for our CARES grant. And the library will be applying for the 2021 TSLA Tech grant again. It's a 50%, matching 50% grant. The library data survey report, which is a big one. They're There's a much bigger one due in September, but this is a big report due in July for the state. And their quarterly report is due for the regional library, and working on that. And we will have an adult summer reading program, and there will be prizes for them. Hopefully a lot of people will participate since everything's kind of slowed down last year. The children's department has finished all their children's programs throughout the school year, and Connie had an ice cream parties for them. The summer reading program begins for the children on June 9th and will be every Wednesday through July 21st. There's 2 age groups, 2 to 7 years, 11 to 12 at 11 to 12 time, and 8 to 12 years at 1 to 2 time. And the children can pre-register, register when they come. The police department is helping us out. They're coming and talking at one of them, and the Harriman Fire Department is too. And we have a magician coming. We have the Knoxville Zoo. We have a chemist, which he is a professor from UT. We've had him several times. He's like a magician because he shows them what all you can do with chemistry. He's lots of fun. The Power Fest is also coming. Anyway, it's a good lineup for the kids this summer. Hopefully everything will be normal.
Anybody have anything for library? Thank you. Dr. Curtis.
Oh, since we met last week, sat in on
faster. And we also even discussed some alternative ways we may get some of these places cleaned up a little quicker. So we've got a lot going on there, and we're both left that meeting confident that you're going to see some results pretty soon on that. Out of all the cases pending by the city of Harriman, there was only one case that I had a conflict of interest on. And that was City of Harriman versus Gilliam and Hester. I had conflict because I represented the defendants on that case. And of course, now that I'm city attorney, I can't represent them, but I also can't represent the city now against them. So I'll have to file what's called a order of substitution of withdrawal to allow me to withdraw from that case from representing the defendants. But I'll have to substitute another attorney in place for the city of Harriman. And what I've done on that is I've recommended, and I think the mayor's had a chance to sort of interview an attorney that I recommend to the council. And the attorney that I'm recommending is Attorney Gary Prince. Gary Prince is with the law firm in Knoxville, O'Neill, Parker, and Williamson. Gary's practiced nearly 40 years. He's represented several governmental entities. Now he represents the city of Knoxville and Knox County in several cases. When I was county attorney, I had many cases along with him, so I know for a fact he's a very successful lawyer and he has a lot of experience representing local governments. He's represented hundreds of police officers and nearly 40 sheriffs in his time, teachers, anyone in local government. He's had a hand in both the state and federal courts. And I also talked to him before I mentioned this to him, and he's agreed to lower his rate to the same rate that I would have, so it wouldn't cost the council any additional funds to hire Gary Prince to take over that one case. So that's my recommendation to the mayor and council in regard to Mr. Prince. And that will be my report unless I have any questions.
On that last one, that was just about the resolution, wasn't it?
Well, we admitted here.
Meet.
Sorry?
And to the point where we were just letting them meet down there, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had a work schedule meeting down there, and I think there was 2 hurricanes blew through, and the 2 days we picked 2 months in a row. Something really weird like that happened with the weather. So we wound up just coming here and talking about it. And I think it was a productive discussion. We got to, the defendants had 2, what I believe, reputable companies. And so I think there's a very good chance that gets resolved amicably for everybody that has an interest in it, but I believe there's going to be a little procedural work that needs to be done by Mr. Prince once he comes in here to bring in these other parties. And once those parties with fairly deep pockets comes in, I think it'll be, I hate to jinx us, but I think it'll be likely to settle.
And just to update council on what our people, so the city filed suit against them, and we had a meeting in here after we couldn't meet down there 2 or 3 times because of the rains and storms, but we met in here and we all come to an agreement that we would work with one of the contractors, and I may be wrong in how I'm telling this, one of the contractors to try to negotiate a price, and our attorney at the time would work with their attorneys to figure out what's fair for everybody and bring it back for council. Well, that comes to a dead stop because right after that, COVID hit and we haven't done anything. I haven't heard a word about it, but the holes are still there and they're not getting smaller. So it's a dead stop for us because we don't have an attorney. When our attorney left, she turned that in as she's done with it. So I did ask Tom about it. He said that he can't represent us for them, but we'd have to get another attorney. So that's where we're at tonight on that.
Mayor, I do have one piece of information I can offer. The lady that's the hairdresser over there has gotten an attorney, and she's either filed or is in the process of filing a motion to intervene, which simply means that one of the next things that will happen in that case is she'll be made a party also. And again, but I think she's just one of the several that needs to be brought into the table in that case.
So it's basically to council as to what direction you all want to take. I don't know that you have to make a decision tonight. It's not on the agenda, but it's something that we're going to have to make a decision on within the next little bit as to what direction we want to take. I don't know what kind of questions you all would have. My first question is what are you looking at? Don't know because we don't know what it's going to entail. We didn't know that with our previous attorney either, how much work it was going to take and what it's going to cost. But this is something that's outside of their scope of what they do as a city attorney, so it's with you guys as to what you want to do. If you'd rather wait and put it on the agenda for the next meeting, give you time to think about it. I'll try to get some more information. We're talking about 2 weeks. Putting it on the agenda, I don't think anything major is going to happen before now and then. I'll try to get you some information prior to that to let you know the more I know, and that gives you time to ask questions and anything you all can think of. Is that okay with you?
I'm just asking because that is a big one, and as we know from the interviews and everything else, that storm drains are a big thing, so we're going to have to figure out what route we're going to take.
Right. All right, we'll put that on the agenda in 2 weeks, and before then, I'll get you some more information. And then if we need to have a workshop to discuss that, because like I said, storm drainage is going to be a big issue with that, so we may decide we want to do that before the next meeting. Anybody have anything else for city attorney? Thanks, sir. We're going to new business. First item, discuss a possibly approved bid for phase 2 on the municipal building. The bids came in, as Dr. Curry said, he was here when they opened the bids. The low bid is GCE Construction, which is out of Tazewell, Tennessee. Their bid is $642,500. There's 3 bids turned in. Next bid to that is $674,900. The next bid from that goes to $909,500. So the low bid is GCE Construction, $642,500. You have
You know
anything?
anything about those, Mayor? About her, overall, well,
I know I've been here, the front office has been showing a lot of people, almost every day, places about what they're doing here, but I don't know any of the contractors. I do know that, Cope is the architect has drawn it up stuff, so everything has been running this year. Now, your approval tonight will just be based on USDA's approval. It still has to go to USDA, I think, and they have to approve it. But what we're asking for tonight is council approval. And if USDA comes back good, then it's good to go. Doctor, you have anything to add to that from what I said?
No, I think you got a good set of bids. The low bid, I think he had some little reservation after the other bid he wrote it, but he did that amount, so it's a good bid. He can do it.
Compared to what they had estimated it was going to cost, it came in quite a bit lower than what they was expecting, so. So motion to approve GCE Construction at a bid of $642,500.
make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson. Second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Wright. Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Wright. Floor is open for discussion.
Does this take it through to completion?
This basically will take this building through to completion, yes. I think it does the sidewalks around the building. It does everything inside the building, so yes, I think it will be completed. Phase 3, there's 3 phases that we was looking at. Phase 1 was the air conditioning roof. Phase 2 is the infrastructure and sidewalking and the parking lot. Phase 3 is the demo of the hospital. So phase 3 we have not got to. I'd like for council, before we go into phase 3, I'd like us to really look at phase 3 to make sure that you all are still good with the complete demo. Phase 3 is complete demo of everything. New part, old part, everything. So just make sure you all are still, that's the direction we're still going. Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Cody Collins,
Yes.
Tim Johnson,
Yes.
Kenny Me,
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion approved. Next item, discuss and possibly approve contract with the city manager and the hiring of a new city manager. I sent out the contract last week of the city manager. There's still a little bit of editing in there before we would have it signed. I would have that edited and taken care of, and you guys would see it before it was signed. We did our interview process, and I think that all the council is on the same page with the individual that you all want to hire. Scott Mason is the candidate that we're looking to hire and on the contract. I need to know what the will of council is. You want to, and I guess I need that, do you all want to give me the authority to work up the contract and the salary? And if so, give an amount on salary that you're looking at.
I'll make the motion that we allow the mayor to go into contract negotiation with Scott Mason for a salary in the $80,000 to $90,000 range.
I'll second that.
Motion by Councilman Meade, second by Councilman Johnson. You guys heard the motion, you need me to repeat it. Have a motion and a second. Floor is open for discussion.
Mayor, you did check in the past, and we looked at some other areas that, you know, in those kind of people, there's just not that many out there.
We researched it to see, you know, qualifications and things like that and what was going on. How many people, why people are, and this is nothing for Scott, so, you know, this was done before he applied. How many people we should expect to get as far as applicants and stuff, and just let council know, not many people are getting into city manager job. Scott probably a couple of years, because it's just it's a 4 or 5 year job usually. So applicants are not like they used to be for these positions. We're, in my opinion, we're blessed, and I know you guys feel the same way. We're blessed and honored to have an applicant like Scott apply. I'm very excited with the future of Harriman and the direction that we're going. I think that it's all positive, and I look forward to it. And I know that wouldn't matter if it's 500 people apply, we've got a better applicant. I think that we've got the creative apply for us.
And I think you mentioned, at least when I talked to you, that we will work in a reasonable time for Scott to get the CFO endorsement and other requirements.
The CMFO is one of the requirements that I think that is required from the city manager. We'll have that in the contract, of how much time it takes to take that. One of those things will be something I will probably sit down early in the morning and talk about, plus talk to MTASC as to how long it takes to get that. I think that's a pretty tough thing to do, but most of the certifications, you'll have a time frame of 2 weeks to get, so we are ready to obtain all that in 2 weeks, I think. I'm just kidding. We'll give him ample time to get his stuff, but those are things he has to have.
I mean, working hard, trying to put him in the oldest car Barron's got.
Well, right now, we got a bicycle, we don't have a car. Gas is too high, so he's,
What happened to the real car?
well, we've got a little golf cart out there. You see, he's got a golf cart, so we'll fit him in his ride.
Where, sometime?
Any other discussion? On the contract also, we will have I will have it to you all hopefully by tomorrow, start date, so when we start, and if we get agreement on the contract. No other discussion, I'll vote please.
Buddy Holly?
Yes.
Tim Johnson?
Yes.
Kenny Me?
Yes.
Sam Russell?
Yes.
Lonnie Wright?
Yes. Motion carries. That's all on the agenda. We'll go into council remarks. Councilman Wright.
Just one thing, Mayor, people seem to be showing more concern about some areas that we all are familiar with, and that is, like so many other communities, we're experiencing, it seems like an increase in loud mufflers, speeding, and littering. And I'll talk to the chief about that. That's all right.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Russell. Councilman Johnson.
Like Lonnie was talking about, I've got some complaints on speeding around where kids are at in the neighborhood and stuff, so I'll get with Jack over that. That's all I've got.
Jack, will stop speed.
We can talk to Darren and sweet talk him, try to get some slow down signs put up.
If you'll get him some of the areas where you're having some of those complaints at, we'll put that sign out. you brought that up in the thing the other day, and I thought that's a great idea. We spent so much money on getting this sign, this reader board, put it in those areas and put, slow down, kids live here or something like that. I think that people will see that, what's going on. Anything else? That's it. Thanks, sir. Councilman Hall.
Two things I think I would like to ask us to consider. One is, it's a long-term thing, it's something we're going to do today, tomorrow, the next 2 years, but consider an ordinance whereas all of our future utilities, buried utilities, are not put under roadways, in the center of roadways. Every time we have to dig them up, we have to repave them, it interrupts traffic, and manhole, everybody's driven over the manhole covers, access points and stuff. I think we ought to look at an ordinance of any future new utilities that we install, water, gas, sewer, whatever, is either put on one side or the other of the right of way, not in the city streets. And the other thing I think I would like for us to consider is, I've noticed cornstalk heights, there are times when you're in cornstalk height, you can't drive down the streets. And the reason is, there's a whole bunch of things parked on the streets up through there. And I would like to see us look at an ordinance and some signage that says residential parking only. We've got trailers, we've got great big trucks up there, we've got all kinds of stuff parking in the roads that you can't get through sometimes. Or it's one lane. You wait on somebody, they come by, and then you go around them, and the primary reason is they park everything out there. And I think we could limit the width of trailers and trucks and things that we allow to be parked on the city streets out there. That's all I have.
Okay. Thanks, sir. Councilman Lee.
No, sir.
I've got a couple things. We're upon our time to do our planning retreat, what we do every other year to start planning the future of what we want to do for the next 2 years. We've probably been at it for the last couple of months, but we've held back because of the city manager part running. So I think we're getting closer to that. I'll be working on that the next couple of weeks to figure out what you all want to do. If you want to do it here, if you want to do it somewhere else. So be thinking about future plans of what we want to see in Harriman. And in saying that, plans can be as big as you want them to be or as small as you want them to be. My thought is you plan big and hope to get close to it. And I think that right now in Harriman, as I said, there's a lot of positives going on. The Midtown is fixing to bloom up. I think you guys will be really surprised in the next couple of months of what's happening down there. Town is revitalized. The communities are revitalized. Road around here, and you'll see that, there's some excitement. Right around here, and you also will see we need a code enforcer pretty quick. But there's a lot of excitement going on, and a lot of that excitement can start right here with us. So just be thinking about what we want to see Harriman continue to grow into. As guys, as I tell you all the time, now's your time. It's our time to make things happen. And if we don't, we've let it pass us by. And we've been growing, we've been doing things. Let's take that next step. And, I'm excited. I'm excited where we're at, what we're doing. And it's because of you all. It's because of what you do and what you bring to the table. And we just need to keep it going and continue to grow and prosper. But get out and ride around and look. And in the next couple of weeks, I'll be getting with you and we'll be working up our planning session. We'll try to get it done after we get the budget part done. But we'll start planning in the next couple of weeks and get to that point. The only other thing, there's a lot of rec stuff going on in the next couple of months. We're going to have people in here from all over the state. The state tournaments are bringing people in here from Memphis, as far away as Memphis, all the way up to on Norristown or whatever the furthest that way. There'll be teams coming in here that's never been to Harriman. So it's gonna be their first time here. So we're gonna try to make this place a place that they remember. So just excited, from what we got going on. And, looking forward to getting Scott and working, and getting things going. But, that's all I got. Anything else need to come for this council? And I know Doc is working hard on the budget, so we're still trying to do a budget workshop tonight, but I don't think we're ready for that yet.
Yeah, we ran into a few bumps in the road over, tracking the grant. I'm working through that right now.
Okay. So, we'll be getting with you within the next week or two and set those workshops up and going from there with it. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, like sign.